Good morning, everyone. If it is good morning, because this program, Sunday Morning Conversations, is also played all day long for the whole week. And then every week we have a new one. But the problem is we don't have new people. And the problem is that my friends here have been helped over a great period of time. And I know that there are people that come and go, and sometimes we have a big audience, a bigger audience, and a big audience is about 30. But this is a Ku Klux Klan town, so I'm Jewish, so this is what I got. You're not Klux, but I'm going to give you a clue. They'll never have. But the big problem with you is that you don't shine enough to bring somebody with you. And I want to talk about shining a little bit. Because if Jesus was here in a crowd, he wouldn't look any different. He wouldn't look he wouldn't look he would just look ordinary. You wouldn't see him as attractive. You'd see him as just an ordinary young man. But there's something extraordinary about him, even so that when you look at him from a distance, he would stick out of the crowd. You couldn't help but see him. But nothing seemed to, there was no light, no fancy dress to point him out. He has an energy field. And the energy field is different. He's coming from a different place. Now, I've got an iPhone here. And if I want to use it, I have to use my finger and press a button and then touch things. But my finger is electric. Your brain is electric. Everything you're just a machine. Living electric machine. I don't think they'll ever make one like us, out of bits and pieces. Except DNA, but then who made DNA? Who made DNA? DNA is, how does DNA, how can such a complicated thing create almost anything, from worms to people, from germs to people? God is a magician. So if they're going to play with DNA, they can't make DNA. They can play with it and turn you into a rabbit. Half rabbit, half people. They can do anything but they can't make the original stuff. Nor could they make matter. They don't even know where matter comes from. But they play with it. And I'm trying to tell you that you are magic. You can be magic. You are meant to be magic. Jesus proved he was magic by turning water into wine. Now the only thing I can do is turn wine into water. I'm sorry to say, we have to have a little levity here. See? And I don't know how that works either. I don't know how the little embryo or the little seed knows what is good for it and discards any other food stuff or poison or something that disagrees with it. It seems to know what to eat and drink, so to speak, to grow into a human being. And with a few faults, in a sense. Sometimes you don't have eyes, and sometimes you have 2 legs, 3 legs, who knows, 3 feet, see? And so, dirty mind.
No, I don't have that.
Just joking. Just joking. Yeah, calm down, otherwise you're going to get into trouble. You don't want to play with me, please. I'm not trying to play with you. I just like to have a little levity. See? So, I know that many of you come here on Sundays because you like coming, and there's a certain camaraderie, but you're not able to attract another person. And that's not good. You don't radiate. You're sort of like machines. But your machine has been fixed to some degree, but not sufficient that you radiate like Jesus. Do you know what Roy Masters does to cure? Nothing. I'm just radiating an energy field. You can pick me out in a crowd when I come into a restaurant. Everybody looks. See? And I don't know what they're thinking when they look, but I affect people when I go anywhere. I don't have to speak. I just have to walk through a place. And that is what you need to be yourself. You don't have to be beautiful. You don't have to have comely features. But you need to attract without being attractive. You got to shine. So you have iPhones, and you know if you take a piece of paper and touch what you should be touching with your finger, it won't work. That's electricity. You are an electrical machine. To put it rather simply, you're a living, but your life force is electric. It's stress motivated, stimulated. Energy is added to you or subtracted from you depending upon whether you are overbearing or underbearing, meaning you're subject to pressure and bullying, where you give up energy. And you give up the process of what energy does. Stress burns you out. It forces you to function, and function compulsively in a very very dangerous way. I was looking for deleterial, but I don't think that's the word. It's deleterious way, yes. I think I was looking. My brain is not working so good, so it needs a short circuit somewhere up there. But that's what happens when you get old. So, but you still put up with me. And I want you to shine. And you've got as far as getting better by observing your weaknesses. But there's so many, I can see in your faces, even though you are getting better than you were, you still need me. And I would be happy if nobody ever came anymore because you didn't need me anymore. And I like the fact that you have a camaraderie with each other, which is nice. I don't mingle, not because I am sort of better than you. I go back and do work, take care of my wife and things like that. I don't have much time for fraternizing and being amongst people. I do my best when I'm working, like I'm working today. And I'm working on you a little bit for you to understand that it doesn't take a whole lot. As a matter of fact, I don't know how to say it, because there are certain things that go beyond language, and language can help you get a certain way to what we're meant to be, in a manner of speaking, a different boss. A different energy field. So you have your electrical self, which is mortal. But then you have something else I cannot describe that is immortal. It's immortalizing. And in the immortalizing process, you actually regenerate. I'm regenerating as I'm speaking. Yes, I've had operations. My beginning was the first operation I didn't even need, so I got ruined right away. And it's 30 years of suffering from that, getting worse, getting more operations to fix it, it got it worse. And finally I got it to be better, but it's never going to be as it was, but it is becoming better. I mean, the process of it, I'm seeing it, which shouldn't get better. And none of it should have got better. I should not have grown new arteries. It happens once in a while, but they don't know why. And these are one of the things that make me think, now why me? And now, of course, when I was much younger, I seemed to be protected and successful in every endeavor, and sort of impenetrable in a fight. Always win, never lose. In the military, always win, never lose. No matter what. Fearless. Every now and then I feel a twinge of fear goes away. Now where are you with that? And why is that with me and not with you? It could be said that every now and then you have a Moses type, and didn't know who he was. And then found out who he was. Because he was, the sort of a son of a what do they call it, Pharaoh. And Pharaoh loved him more than his own son, for some reason. He was Jewish. He didn't know it. And he only discovered who he was by losing his temper because the taskmaster was killing this Jewish man. Don't be distracted by the telephone. See, you just immediately wanted, you couldn't leave that alone. Not good. And a lot of you began to look. Can't we just let it go? You still look, you still live in your imagination.
I do.
You do.
I do, Roy.
Easily distracted.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I have this, pressure on my eye, and
Now let's go play. What is pressure over your eyes? What do you mean pressure? I have this pressure. It's stress. It's just stress. It will become what would translate into a real disease. I try to get my wife, she's losing her eyesight because she lives in a imagination all the time. If she doesn't want to see something, she doesn't see it. And when she wants to see it, she can't. You're conditioning yourself with every thought that you enhance with worry, with anxiety, with fear and doubt. All the same, different forms of the same thing.
Yes, same thing.
As a man or woman thinketh, so are you.
So don't
What
think.
if that verse and chapter I just gave you? What if that verse and chapter was, what am I here for? Why do I have that pressure in my eyes or forehead? Just question, but not worry about it. But I not worry about it, just say, what wonder what that's for. What about that's for?
I do.
See the difference?
Yes, I feel sorry for myself. I react. Yeah. I'm never going to get better.
And then
yeah.
you start to worry about it. And
Yes.
it has a cause, and you're causing it. You're keeping it alive. You continue. It's a continuum of a cause. It's the lack of faith.
It's simple.
It's simple. You lack faith.
Yes.
Then you say, yes, I do. I lack faith. And that's a better thought. Oh, what's wrong with
It
my
is.
eyes?
It is. It is a better thought. That's what I do all the time.
How simple can it get?
Yeah, it's very simple. I'm done. I can go now.
You feel better now?
It's so simple, Roy.
How's the
I
pain
don't
in
know how
the
that
head?
happens. I don't know. It's just always, dung, 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 always there, but it's so simple.
No, you see, when you come here, you sit there with thoughts going around your head.
I do. Continuous.
I can see them. And then your whole body loses its brightness.
Life, yeah.
It's like a dead person
It
walking
is.
around. And all of you look like dead people walking around. Because you're growing up. It's growing in you. It's taking shape. I know you like to listen to me,
I know.
but listening to me doesn't count.
No.
It's my speech is not meant for you to study. I don't care if you don't remember anything I say.
Well, your words come in and they block that process. They kind of release the process when I hear your words. Because
I want you to see, I'm speaking freely. I don't know if this lecture is very good. I don't think I'm sitting here, what should I say to these people?
It's just simplicity.
Yes, but it's simplicity, but then it gets so simple that you really don't have to do anything. And then, of course, you say to yourself, well, this guy's cuckoo. Because what does he mean by not doing anything? That would be the typical question of the average person who listens to what I just said. But when you're upset, annoyed, and angry, and you're starting to get cancer and God knows what, you're doing something wrong to yourself. You're trying to make your own future and fix your own problems and fix your own anxieties as you go. And after a while, it's only trying to fix your anxiety, and pretty soon you don't care about where you're going. And pretty soon, the more you try to fix your anxiety, pretty soon you get more sick, and then you commit suicide, because that's what you're doing anyway.
Yeah, I'm killing myself.
Yeah. So, wouldn't it be better to do nothing?
Yes.
But the point is, I'm making a point.
Yeah.
There's another something other than the game that's going on in your head,
Yeah.
which is going on in every person in this room. You're all the same. You're living in your imagination. You're living thoughts that come to you, and you can't get rid of them. And the more you struggle to get rid of them, the more they come. And you can't hear what I'm saying. You can't hear a complete sentence.
No, or it gets confused.
And if you get a complete sentence, you remember it, and that's no damn good either.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to work. Nothing. Roy Masters can't cure you in anything.
No.
But I can be the evidence of what you can be. And you could like what you see and appreciate it and pay attention. And you do me honor if you pay attention and stop dreaming while I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
It's almost insulting.
Because then I could be an example.
Huh?
Because then I could be an example. Because then I could be an example.
Oh, example, yes.
I could be.
Why shouldn't you be?
If I.
Well, when you find the secret of life, you find it because you suffer from taking energy or orders from the wrong boss. You can't serve two masters. And wouldn't it be nice if you had a dad forever? How many people would like to have a good dad forever? He's within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. So what made the universe also made you, but it didn't make the universe in his image. I guarantee you that when you find the truth that sets you free and you start to sort of disintegrate in one way and something else takes its place, when you have a bad thought, when you begin to have a bad thought and you catch it in time and you look at it and you wonder, then the idea comes, I wonder why I can't stop thinking, why I can't stop my endless loop of thoughts. If you ask the question and not struggle with it, it's if you had the answer. Because it's arrogance.
Yes.
You're playing God trying to fix yourself. And God doesn't need to be fixed, does he? And you don't need to be fixed after you've been fixed. Because your whole life has to do with trying to fix yourself or other people. Or get other people to fix you. And they can't even fix themselves. The average doctor life expectancy is 59 degrees. 59 degrees, 59 years.
Whatever.
You've got a big temperature. Lousy temperature. Yes.
I don't know how to start it or what I'm going to say.
What was that?
I don't know what I'm going to say.
Oh, all right. That sounds good.
But I listened to you on the radio and I heard you talking to Heather from England.
Oh, yes.
And
She's very intelligent questions.
the relationship she was having with her mother.
Yes.
And I realized that was going on with me and my daughter.
There you go.
I really did.
Now you see how nice it is? You are just about to discover something because a person called from England and she was so intelligent, I kept her on for an hour.
Yes.
And while she was talking in that hour, she was talking about all your problems.
It brought up so much in my life that it all stemmed from me not speaking up. My daughter has been very attentive. She has helped me in every way. And it was up to me to say, no, don't do that. I'll be all right. But I know she meant well. But right now, she's very angry with me and she's very hurt. But this started from years and years ago when I was first married.
That's interesting. I thought I was helping her.
Well, she's doing well.
No, she's
up
not.
until
No, you're contradicting yourself.
well,
And she can't be angry and help you.
well, I don't know if she is angry, but I asked her.
Oh, well, you're
her
assuming.
son, her husband calls me a lot, and I says, "Can I speak to my daughter?" And he says, "I don't think she's ready to talk to you." I said, "Okay, I accept
Well, you
it."
better ask her to come here again. Because
Well-
I need to fix that one.
Well, right now they're up in La Pine, and it's been very icy and cold, and he was having a problem with his car. So I think that's a lot of
You're
it.
just excusing him now.
Well, I don't know,
You
but
are
I'm thinking
excusing him.
I'm thinking that, or I'm saying She just doesn't want to come down and see me and face me.
Well, maybe because you're such a rotten egg.
Yes, that's true. It is. It's true.
You drive people away.
Uh-huh.
But now you're talking about codependency.
Right.
And so who's codependent on who? Are you the codependent on your daughter, or is she codependent on you? Which one is the bully?
I'm the bully.
Huh?
I'm the bully.
Yeah, you asked, but it sounded like it was the other.
No.
See, I catch you
Yeah.
in twisting
My story.
the naughty one.
Yep. That's
Right.
true. Yeah. And it really
So
hurts.
now, what does it mean by your you creating a codependency in her? Because that's what you've done, and she's trying to get rid of you.
Right.
She's afraid to come around you because you have that effect on her. She can't say no to you, and then she gets angry and feels guilty and wants to run away. That's one way.
Right.
And get rid of you so I don't have to have anything to do with you. But then she feels guilty, and then prior to that, she would come back in guilt and do what
And
you
then
and be
do-
nice to you.
Right.
And you purr like a pussycat.
Mm-hmm.
See? But that's dangerous.
It is.
And everybody thinks of that as love. Well, I'd just like to mention to the American people that most of them are codependent on the demon they elected.
Right.
So basically, you're demonic.
Yes, I know that.
You're sucking on the life of your daughter. Why don't you just get it? You see, you are very quiet and you ask good questions, but I could tell that some of those questions get twisted and lost,
Mhm.
and you come back and you still don't get it.
Well, I'm getting it.
What you need. You are such an empty person that you need the love of your offspring, and you cannot free them. And they're troubled because they don't know how to free themselves from you, because you put dependence on them and didn't set them free to build little toy things and invent something and spend their own money in their own way and earn the money in their own way, and just watch it quietly as they start to unfold to get freer and freer and freer from
I don't
you.
want to
And
do
the
that.
freer they are from you, the more they love you for that freedom and not run away from you. Do you understand that, what I'm
Yes,
saying?
I do. But
Who
I don't.
understands what I just said?
I
See,
don't wanna
it's
do that.
codependence is what we lose the country. How we lose the country because we can have political codependency. The more he does for us, the less we are. And the more we want to run, which doesn't do any good, running in anger, and trying to fix what anger has done because she's trying to possess you and you try to repossess yourself. And you cannot do it. You cannot do it. You cannot repossess yourself from anything. You cannot repossess yourself from drunkenness and alcohol and sex. Whatever sin is, it comes through the parent, and it comes through the parent who's empty, who has an emptiness in them, and they make up their mind. And the reason why they're empty is because you have a bad parent. You have a mother who did it to you. Mothers do this too. Mothers do it. Mothers are dangerous creatures. Women are dangerous creatures. Very dangerous creatures. Unless you have a man, unless they can have a man to say, put the fruit down. It's very simple. That's what a woman needs. But she cannot rule. But let's take you for a minute.
Yes.
I can ask you a couple of questions and we can settle it.
Okay.
Mother is the cure of the disease. The father is not. The father never is the disease, but he lends himself, he gives himself to the bully, the female. The female is the bully.
Right.
The female wants to overcome the man. There's an Eve nature in her that it's been passed from woman to woman. And they need to be stopped. They're very attractive, and that's one thing. But what is more than just being attractive, which means you're going to multiply yourself, multiply and have kids, that's the natural part. But if you pardon the expression, what you attract, there's another element in your attraction, is that willfulness. You use your attraction to overcome the man, and you overcome the man by filling his void, because man born of woman is void. But he isn't void in a sense that you may think it to be so. So I will microscopically explain it. Because every child coming into the world, man or woman, little girl, little boy, has intuition. The woman has intuition about herself. See, the man has intuition, potential from within himself. Every child born into the world has the beginning of intuition, but not the ending. Because the moment they come into the world, they come into a father who isn't a father, who has succumbed to the attraction of the female, because there's something about the female, not just to multiply himself, and not to relieve himself of tension. See that? Yeah. Not just that. There's another thing in it. The thing that's in it is combined with it, inseparable, almost inseparable, is the fact that he is the extension of Adam, who was disconnected from the Creator and passed it through the generations. So man born of woman has, let me say it again, man born of woman is infected as he comes into the world, but with a girl, child. When I say infected, he is violated by the very existence of his mother. Because the father is not there to protect him from his wife. Because he's using her to fulfill himself. So therefore, the more woman he gets, the more he feels fulfilled. But he is a fool being filled. But he can't help that. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand that women violate. They violate by giving sex in a very improper way to men born of women who have been hurt. I see it, and I'm going to take a little moment to reconstruct this. The Eve part of woman, when she gives birth to a female child, slides in there. It is not it's so much of a violation. She still has her intuition, but she has inadvertently have the nature, not just sexual nature, which is natural, but the unnatural nature of temptation to rule the man. She is still the means, the medium by which men are broken. But the male child is violated. He still has intuition, sooner or later. But as he grows to puberty, he has two things. He is immediately attracted by the female because it's in his nature, right?
Right.
It's a very strong pull. But what makes it difficult is that he has an emptiness. He has been violated to such a degree that he's subject to women. Because the father failed to protect him and her from the mother. The mother is the carrier.
Yeah.
She's Typhoid Mary. Got it? Mom is Typhoid Mary. But she's intelligent enough and intuitive enough to know in the beginning that she needs the love of a man. But she may not think in terms of God in those moments, but the intelligent woman is looking for something in a man which most men don't have anymore.
I was looking for that in my father, but my
But it
father,
never happened.
no,
But go ahead.
he was a real quiet man. He was a good provider, but he came from Europe to get away from all that was going on, and he never wanted to talk about it. He was just quiet. And I was blaming him for years until I
Why would you blame
realized,
for him for being quiet?
well, I says, why didn't he come and talk to me or say, come sit on my lap, can I help you? I was one of 6. He never did that.
But he didn't do it to the others either.
No, he didn't do it to
Of
any
course,
one of them.
Because he
He had his own problem, and I realized that.
But the point is, you hated your father, and that converted you to your mother's tender care, and so that becomes codependent.
Yes.
In other words, you take on. She will love you in such a way that will spoil you and make you dependent on her approval.
Yes.
And
that's
therefore
what she
she
did.
becomes the god, but behind her is Eve. And behind Eve is the spirit of paradise lost. It comes through the centuries. It comes through the generations. Everybody has it. Nobody escapes it. It doesn't mean to say nobody survives it, because the pain of coming into the world, the woman in her way, the man in his way, being attracted and getting into her, and she gets into him, and the devil has both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yes.
Is that clear?
Right.
That's clear, isn't it? I was trying to make it clear. It just pops together that way. So the man, whether he's a weakling, whether he's quiet and doesn't say anything, does not stop his wife from passing it on to you.
And that's what happened to me.
But when you hate him for being quiet because you want him to save you from your mother, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And now, if your father was a bully, you would do the same thing. You want him. He cannot save you from your mother, but your mother is a victim, but she's not a victim. But she's still not corrected. Therefore, you look at her suffering, and you have compassion on her suffering, and bang, she's got you there too. Whether she's a bully, the man's a bully, or a coward, he cannot protect you from the inheritance of what comes through all the women.
Right.
And politics understands to sit on the doorstep of the women and make her more discontent about man than it would be. You get the woman, then you get the children, and then the man. You get the man sooner or later.
Right.
He's got no father. And no father at all. Then all of a sudden, Obama takes the role of father. Goodbye, country.
I was so unhappy at home that I was...
Who's understanding this?
Yeah, I do. I understand it. This man came along, was very kind to me. He was about 8 years older than me, and I got married. And I felt he was older, he was smarter, and he would take care of me. But he was exactly like my father.
No, you actually said it wrong. He's not supposed to take care of you.
No, but
you need to say, I love this man, I'd like to be his wife and do good for him. Not take care of you.
No. Well, I did it
No,
wrong.
that's your part.
Right.
If your part is that way, his part will kick in.
And it did. It did.
He will see a woman who's gracious. He will see a woman who's gracious and doesn't know she's gracious. She sees this man, she recognizes where he's coming from, but she doesn't make a tactic for him.
No, I didn't do it in the right way at all.
Yeah, that's right. But you don't know that.
No, I
because
didn't
your
at
mind
the
is
time.
not trained that way.
I didn't realize it. I just wanted to get out of the home and the environment I
it's
was
all about
in.
you.
Yes.
I've got to get out of here, so I've got to get this guy.
Selfish of me, and
Well,
I blamed him, and I realize now it wasn't his fault either. It was mine. I did it.
It was two faults. Your fault, his fault.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
And it
was.
keeps on going that way. And children
And
come into the world, what are they going to do?
Yep.
They're going to be infected by mother for the failure of the father.
Uh-huh.
So you can think hating your father is bad, and that's why I start to you is to, if you're going to forgive your parents, start with your father, because your father is the divine. What word I'm looking for?
Representative?
Yeah, that's the word representative. I was thinking of a higher title. But the father is the office, the physical office, like Obama is an office. You can have a good person in office, or you can have a bad one. So you can have a bad one in office or a weak one in office, but it's still a man. And the man represents God or misrepresents God, and therefore misery and suffering. But you don't want to hate a man because it always refers you to the mother. It keeps you locked into the mother. And try to be a better mother than your mother was. And there it starts. See? You start to kiss up to a man and make him love you, and pretty soon he falls to you. See, and there's another fall. He gets into you, you get into him, and Eve has you both. The spirit of Eve. We human beings are not like animals. We have a different beginning.
Yeah.
See?
As years went on, when I was married, anytime my father was sick, he would call me. I took him to the doctors. I took him to the foot
But you mothered
doctors.
him.
And I did, but he would depend on me. He didn't call any of my sisters or brothers,
That was a nice thing to do.
and I really helped him. He couldn't walk, and he had flat feet. He didn't realize it.
Now let me ask you a question. Did you feel good about that?
At the time, I just felt like an attentive daughter, and I wouldn't refuse him.
Well, did you feel good about doing it? Or did you feel a pull?
No, I felt good about doing it. I
Yeah.
did.
All right,
That I was able to help him.
good. And did he get better?
He did. He got better. And then
Yeah.
when he got really sick and he died, my mother called me right away. She says, "You come."
What did he die from?
He had just heart attack. He was 75 years old. But he never went to the doctors, and he wouldn't go to the doctors, whatever. They told him he should go see a doctor.
Was he still quiet? Or
No, he got a little better as years went on.
a little better?
A little.
No, a little is not enough.
No.
A little is not enough. It's either perfect or it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say perfect, you can't be perfect all at once. God knows everything at once. That's different. You can't do that. You make a universe if you know everything at once, right?
But there must have been.
No, then you got to listen. It's because getting much better is not better. And if you are in charge of him getting better, when he should be in charge of you getting better, is upside down. And in other words, the chances are you made him codependent on you.
Oh,
But you didn't know it.
no, I didn't.
You're saving him for you. And you still have the same problem. You still have a bond with your daughter.
I do.
You see, you've had it in every different form.
Mm-hmm.
So even though the opportunity comes to help your father, he is becoming codependent on you, and you take pleasure in seeing him get better. But you're not curing him for anything. You're doing nice things. I know you're a very willful person.
I am.
I have a son that's very willful, and he does the wonderful things, but he does it willfully, and then wants to he wants something from me. When you do things for people, you don't want anything back. You do it as if how else could you do it? See, you remember helping him. I will never remember helping any one of you. I know I have thousands, if not millions, of people. I don't remember anybody. They come back and say, "I remember you did this for me and you did that for me." I said, "Did I really? I can't remember anybody." See, I can't remember helping anybody. I just know something's happening all the time, and you are getting better. And I like to help you and talk to you, but when I'm finished, I forget all about it. And many people forget all about me too. They don't send any money. See?
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a good clean out and a good cleansing.
I do.
You need to, when you do start to do things, you don't need your daughter to call. You really need to become an independent person and let them go.
That's what I'm trying to
No,
do.
you're calling up, "Can I speak to my daughter?" She doesn't want to speak to you. Drop it.
I said I would.
No, it's too late already. He had to tell you to stop it. You shouldn't have started it. You still want her. And she feels that you want her, she wants to run away.
And
she's getting angry.
She feels the pull.
No, she's going to get sicker. And that's how you make her sick.
I don't want to do that.
That's what you're doing.
I don't want to do
No, you don't
that.
see the subtlety of it. The subtlety escapes you. You can suck her dry from 10,000 miles away. That's it. Get it out. You're lonely and lost. You're more lonely than you've ever been in your life. So you do it out of desperation. You can't stop. Let her go. Let your daughter go. And let it go to such a degree that you feel relieved of having to have a love. And don't turn to other people and to do that to other people so they love you. Like you did when you got married to the nice guy. You want to get away from a bad situation, so you marry this thing. And he was a nice guy. Maybe he was a nice guy before he married you. You suck. You have no life of your own. And you're never going to have a life of your own if you keep sucking and pulling. If it isn't one person, it's another. And you're still stuck with your daughter.
I am. But I'm getting to see that, and she sees it too.
Yes, that's just big excuse.
No,
You either lose it, drop it, and let it go now.
I will.
Don't
All right,
pick up
no,
the phone.
I can't do
Get
it.
a life.
Yes.
You're still a young-looking woman, and you get the youth from sucking from the children. I can see a picture. You got great-grandma. She's strong. She's 100.
Mm-hmm.
And she ain't going to die yet. And then you have a daughter who looks a little bit pale. She's been sucking on her. And then you turn to the children. The older children seem kind of broken and angry or submissive. And they look older and worn out. And it goes all the way down, so the healthiest person is grandma. She rules the roost. She's having her way, and then she's going to die anyway, and then leave the inheritance to the next in line.
No.
You got the picture, haven't you? We suck on each other. What do you think Obama does? It sucks on you. He sucks your taxes. You sucks your money, your hard-earned work. It takes your life away and gives it to other people. But then pretty soon he's sucking on them for sucking on them because all they are worth is a vote. He'll give you things, so you give him power. Their money's not his, it's okay, he gives it to you, you get power. And you embolden. People embolden him. He gets more and more powerful. And people become more dependent on stuff. See? And the people who get stuff, they had to give stuff to him to give them stuff. See that? So he's draining us taxes. And we're dying as a nation. The principle is everywhere, political codependence, personal codependence. We suck the life out of people because the spirit of life has been taken from us the day we were born. Women in her way, and so women continue playing that game. They cannot stop. They're pretty, they're beautiful, etc., to whatever degree. And men are hard up, they should be attracted to an ugly one. But still, she can look beautiful. Anything looks beautiful. The rope pusher looks beautiful when he rises to the occasion of your need. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. And he takes the poison and feels better. And he feels well served. And he becomes codependent. They become codependent on each other. If the things I talk about and the penny drops, you can see how many people will lose money. 90% of this country is feasting on each other. There's a few people who are free. But medicine will perish to shrink to a small number. Sicknesses and diseases, marriage will be prosperous. See? If everybody understands these simple things, to know what love is, and love can only come from you not looking for love from anybody. Because your love always reaches the wrong places. It always
Goes.
Love is from all the wrong places. You cannot find love in this world. And if you do, you're attracting parasites that will make you codependent, will give you something and then want your soul. So you give them stuff, and you give them your life, and he takes your soul. And then you wake up one morning losing a war you didn't know you were fighting. So now I come back to glowing.
Yeah.
And it's not, you don't want, when I said Jesus was like any other man, he didn't look comely, he didn't look attractive, he didn't attract you that way. When you come here, I don't attract you, I hope I don't attract you because I'm good looking. It's my wife. But the point is, there's a certain glow, correct? You can see me a mile away. But I'm glowing with something. I'm growing with that glowing. And that's where you need to be still and know a new way of loving and being loved. If you love your Creator, and He will give you what you lost, give you back what you lost as a child. Because you never really lost it, you misplaced it. So if you replace the name, sometimes I run out of a word. And then somebody has to give me the word. I said, well, that's the one, because I have it. But I lost it. So I can sit in front of my microphone and try to think of it, but I can't find it. See? So I have to use some other word which is not so good. That makes me look stupid, which I am already. But the point is, you haven't lost it. You've been denied it. You've been violated because your parents could not help violating you with love or cruelty. Both are violation. And you can play one with the other. You can exchange love, which is not love, it's seduction, and makes you dependent on approval. You can be just a wonderful person on the surface, and you can make people think how wonderful you are, and feed the worst in you. And feed yourself to the worst in them. And they will applaud you. Oh, thank you very much, it's so nice of you. And you love the feeling of being nice to this parasite. But he doesn't look like a parasite, he appreciates it, and you're living off his appreciation, which is a lie. He's just making you come on and do more and give more of yourself, and giving you the illusion of worth, which is worthless. I have the words. That's so simple. Love is a gift, and it keeps on giving. I can give you a good example if you want to. You go to the bank, you want to buy a car, you want to buy something. So it costs a couple $100, and the banker decides he will give you a shot with interest. And you pay it back. And you come back again, and it keeps going until you got $1 million. But if you got $1 million, it means you're using the money right, and you're becoming trustworthy. Of course, you can have a little crazy thing go to you, and you can take the $1 million and run like hell. But I don't. You know what I'm trying to say. And so, if you do what's right in the moment, and everything is made of little things, little tiny things, like opening a door for a lady or something. See, whatever it is, I can't think of it. Because there's so many things in the course of a day, thousands in the course of a day, that you don't know you're doing it. And there's thousands of stupid things you do in the course of a day. You don't know you're doing it because it's taken me an hour to tell you about codependency, which you defended in many different ways. I saw it. So have I snared you now or not?
Yes. Yes. I realized all that. It's coming to a head with me, and I do realize it. I see it. I know how I was and what I've been doing.
Now, this is what you do. You don't call anymore.
Right.
You go about your life, find something you can do. Are you independently wealthy?
No, I'm not, but I'm comfortable. Yeah.
It's okay, so you don't need any income?
No, I have.
Well, you live alone?
Yes.
Well, now the thing is, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? You've got to do something.
Right.
I'm almost 88. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing.
No.
So if only one person comes, I just talk to them.
Mm-hmm. I volunteer sometimes. I'm active. I walk. I swim. I've had a few health ailments, but slowly I'm overcoming them. And very fortunately,
You're
I'm
overcoming
doing.
swimming?
Am I what?
But you gave me a list, laundry list, and one of them was swimming, and you do this. And, no, I want to know what kindness. And now, kindness isn't something you look for to be kind.
No.
It starts just with going to the grocery store and, well, I will give you my definition of kind.
Okay.
I'll give you a story. So, I can remember it because it was so small. So, first of all, one kind of kindness was, I have just had a few items. There's a lady in front of me with a little girl, and we got talking, see? And she said, why don't you go in front of us? You only got one object. That's very sweet. But while I was talking while we were waiting in line, because there were people before us, I was doing some magic tricks to the little girl with a coin. She says, wow. See? But that was kind of her to put me ahead of her. Because it wasn't... So as I walked out to go home, the little girl came up to me and said, here's your quarter. I said, tell you what, you see my magic? I said, that quarter is like magic. You're very kind and you're a sweet young lady. So just always remember to do the right thing and don't be angry anymore. Makes that coin remind you. Mm-hmm. Say thank you. Little things like that. Right. I have lots of them, but I don't remember them all. But that was kind of outstanding. The kindness was the lady setting me in front of her. But let's assume it didn't happen this way. But let's say I get to the cash counter. I get to the counter for pay my bill. I just bought a few things. But the lady has a bad day. And I could see from a distance she was being rude and very impatient with everybody. So here comes something natural. So you don't have to be sweet and nice to do the right thing. And I said, did you have a fight with your husband this morning? She said, how do you know that? I said, it's the way you're treating your customers. Everybody looks. Right?
You sensed it.
So I hope you feel better. Doesn't help you any. So the kindness. But it's also embarrassing. I don't give a damn. Kindness is kindness. You like it or you don't like it. You can be embarrassed or not. I'm going to tell you if I see it appropriate. But then I have to see that it's appropriate. Not invent that it's appropriate.
I see.
In other words, it happens naturally. I speak to you naturally. I haven't rehearsed anything.
I know.
I never rehearse my life. It isn't real to rehearse what I'm going to say to someone, and then I don't know what I'm going to... Then all that preparation of me thinking about what I'm going to say does not apply when I get there. So what use is it? If it does apply, you're just a phony.
It does.
I'd much rather not know anything about it. I just go there.
Yeah.
So I walk, but I'm not worrying about what I'm going to do, how I'm going to make money, and how to overcome this and overcome that. It is what it is. I know the problem. I don't know the answer. And it happens. What happens, though, is magic. It doesn't happen because I make it happen. It happens because I glow. And it affects the good in people to want to do something for me, to do business with me. So, but I don't. I don't connect it to me being good. I don't connect it to me being clever. It's sort of like it's
Just do it.
it's happening. Gee, that's nice. Life's simple. Can you stand a little bit? I can see you better.
Oh, I was just going to say there was an article about all the things that happened to Squanto, the Indian that helped during the Thanksgiving, and how he got captured as a slave and came back.
I don't know who that is.
When the Pilgrims first came to the United States,
What was some?
when the Pilgrims first came,
Oh, the Pilgrims.
there was an Indian that showed up that
Oh,
spoke
yes.
English.
Yeah.
And you read about how horrible his life was, and yet God used him in such a significant way. And it just reminds me of us trying to make something in our life that we think we're going to make this and we're going to make that, but we don't see the big picture of,
No, God has to make things happen through you.
yeah.
In other words, it has to be. You can actually see the begrudging of some people, and then, and they begrudge doing it for you, but they do it for you, right? Or you're just another person. Next one. You just don't have any. There's no brightness. There's no natural flow. So if you have that quality, your whole day goes in a few seconds. And you've accomplished a lot, but you don't remember accomplishing anything. Do you know how much writing I've done? Do you know how many seminars I've done? Do you know all the things I've gone through? No, you don't. I don't remember them. Only just little stories that help me to explain things to you. And it took a while for me to understand that it wasn't me. And I woke up one morning and say, that's who you are. That's been guiding me all the way. See, that's it. I say, wow, life's easy. All you have to do is listen to Papa. I don't know how he delivers it to me and you and 6 billion people if we get 6 billion people to do it. But I don't understand it. But I know that looking at my iPhone, they can find me anywhere and tell me and in seconds they can tell me what I need to know. Why can't and whoever's on the other end of that equipment can know where I am at any point. So why can't God or Jesus or whatever it is, why can't he do that to you? Why can't he give you your share of what your meaning is? We all have to have a share of meaning. We can't all be bricklayers because we'll all eat bricks. We all have different skills. I've got given a gift of, this is my gift. Where's your gift gone to? You've lost it. And you try to give yourself a gift. And you've lost love, and you try to look for love or be the lover. And you haven't got anything. And it's not your fault. It's only your fault if you don't want to see if you don't feel the pain sufficiently enough to say, what's life all about? What am I doing? Why can't I get rid of these endless thoughts? Why am I living in a fantasy? Why do I have anxiety? Your little pussycat doesn't have any anxiety. It doesn't matter if you don't care. Go out and eat some mice. Doesn't matter to him. As a matter of fact, you're better off letting him go eat mice. He's a better cat. You can ruin your own cat, and he dies from all the diseases you're dying from. See? I don't know. We misuse everything. I mean, you can love canaries so much. You can have 50 canaries and you spend your whole life feeding them and them chirping and loving you. I didn't say that, I mean, you can have a dog, but you don't want to love the dog. Because then you become codependent on the dog. The dog will. You ever see the dog whisperer? You ever see him come to a lady's house, and this little tiny dog is tearing up the furniture and eating the sofa, and she doesn't know what to do because she loves the dog, and she doesn't want to hurt the dog. She wants to love the dog, and the dog needs there's a word for that. I always forget the word for it, but what? Codependent? No, he needs
A pack leader.
Huh?
A pack leader.
No, is this the wrong way? He needs, there's a special word for that.
Alpha?
No, all wrong. There's a special word that means he needs a
Firmness?
no, but come on now. A pack leader. He needs the pack leader. In other words, that he needs authority.
Yeah.
And then he has he feels secure. The stronger, the wiser. The most intelligent one wins. The most powerful one wins, whatever the state of grace they have. And pack leader. And when he comes in, he's the pack leader. He picks up that that dog, and it's screaming. It's squealing. And she says, "Oh, don't hurt my dog." See? And that's it. And the dog calms down and feels secure. All that little dog wants, is a firm hand. And it could be human. And he could be the pack leader. But you see the effect she's identified with the dog. So what's happening to the dog is happening to her. Codependence. Just a dog. It could be a flea. Oh, my beautiful flea. It could be anything. The whole nation, the human race is a bunch of nutcakes. And they don't know it. You're all typecast. You're typecast, you're typecast, you're typecast. I'm not typecast. I'm who I'm supposed to be. Because when you die, another one's born. There's variation in goats. Some goats are nice and some goats are bully goats. And there's a certain typecast. You ever see a movie, you got typecast people. So you could actually see the pastor of a church, and they have different kinds. You have one that's weak. You have one that shouts and yells, Jesus this and Jesus that, is cruel, and they all sound the same according to the typecast. And then you have the lush lady in the barroom, playing the game with the boys and getting drinks and getting drunk and going home and shacking up. And if you look at all these different people in your movies, you're one of them. And you die, another one will take your place. And so the world goes round and round with all the same people doing the same things in their own ways. Bullying, going along to get along, people pleasing, violating, becoming tyrants and murdering. And all murdering for the same reasons, with the same thoughts, with the same origins. That passes down to them, but they weren't born that way. And if I could be on radio, if I get enough radio stations, and to talk to people this way, things change. very quickly. But they don't want to hear. You got a huge media, and all the media is just left-wing brainwashed. Your children are brainwashed to be perverts and degenerates. And you don't know how to bring them back, and the more you try to bring them back, the worse they get. Because you don't know, you've let your children go because you're not the man. You're not the man you need to be to make sure your wife doesn't tear up the house like the dog. I have to deal with her. Otherwise she tears up the house and messes up. She can't help it. She needs a firm. She'll tell me, I appreciate you, you're kind. I'm kind, what am I kind? I just put a stop to it. It takes a long time. It takes a long time to train a woman. Otherwise she'll train you, and she'll kill you.
She don't want that.
All right.
A woman doesn't really.
You got it. But it looks like you need a good wallet once in a while. It looks like it.
Now you're
But
giving her wrong
no, but the point is, it's just what I'm saying, strength. Strength without anger.
Right.
Sometimes a lot without anger.
I've been married 65 years. I'm not worse. I'm not broken because of her. She gets broken unconsciously playing with me. I can't be played with. It backfires. All I have to do is be me. All it has to be me with him in me. See that? But I've learned in marriage all about women, because she's a woman, and you're a woman, and you're all the same. Identical, except varying degrees. Some of you are easier, and some of them are more tough. And some never get it. As long as it doesn't bother me, I've done my thing.
As long as what?
As long as it doesn't affect me, I do it because 65 years, 64 years, I'm pledged to honor, see, and to death do us part. That is not a problem to me.
Or you become a philosopher.
Or I become a philosopher. But in this case, I think I become a philosopher as well.
Yes, you have.
I don't leave her out of my life. See? And then I got the children to fix, because they have been influenced by it to some degree. I'm not home all the time, but the woman does. So she does all kinds of things. You can have ice cream, but don't tell your father. This is dangerous stuff. This is the kind of betrayal. There's all kinds of betrayal that women. There are all kinds of games. A man comes home and his wife got a long face. What's the matter, honey? Well, I never call my wife honey. Yak, yak. What's the matter, honey? You never want to call your wife honey. You never want to call her dear. She's not dear. This is all ugly. It's all fancy. See, I love. I don't have to call people dear. I don't have to call me dear. I do good, right things, good, proper. But he comes home, typical. What's the matter, honey? Nothing, nothing, nothing. That's it. But what did I do? Nothing, nothing. Why are you so angry? Nothing. Doesn't say anything. Leaves him perplexed, disturbed. Not me, but the guy. So what is the problem with her? Oh, he didn't bring home the milk he promised, but she never asked him. And she won't admit it. And she keeps it to herself. That's the game. That's how rotten they are. But also that to that degree they're rotten and you don't respond. Contrast, awakening. She gets better, but she doesn't stop trying. She can't help it. If you're married, you need to have a boss. And the thing in her doesn't like bosses. There's a boss in her from Paradise Lost, the spirit of Paradise Lost that got into Eve. It's in there, in every woman. So don't just let your guard down, in a manner of speaking, because it's going to be every day. You're not going to have a perfect wife. You're going to have a wife that perfects you. And when you have a wife that perfects you, then you are perfected by your perfection for her, not being angry. And she's embarrassed again. And she gets a little better. And pretty soon you walk off into the sunrise, not the sunset, hand in hand, daughter and father. That's the way it was. Adam gave birth to a woman. She was called woman because she came out of man. She was part of him, the extension of him. So basically speaking, there's a divine order. And the divine order is missing. We can see it in our society. But men should be the head of the home. But God should be the head of the man, who's head of the home, and therefore has authority, a proper authority, a legal and proper authority to the woman. Whether she's mean or not, it doesn't bother him. He's going to keep on it till she sees it. Whether she doesn't see it, the children sees that he's a good man, and the children sees the mother's a bitch, and the children love the father. See that? But if he doesn't know how to deal with it right, then he becomes feeble. And the mother is mean. They take on mother because they take on mother because he didn't protect them from mother. He didn't stand in the way of the mother's influence himself. Step aside, kids. I want to talk to your mother. See that? Got it. And if he's a bully, well, you think you'd hate the father, and therefore you become like your father. No. You are being affected by your mother because you tend to give your affection to him because she seems to be the victim when she's playing the game. He's just not dealing with it right. So your identity will grow from the woman every time and without end. So you could be like that Williams fellow who turned himself into a woman. He tried to be a man, but the woman was in there. And the more he tried to be a man, the harder he tried, the worse, more anxiety he felt, because that's not the way to be a man, to keep trying not to be a woman. And pretty soon he was feeding the woman within himself to the point where he became a woman in a man's body. So he had to cut off his knackers. I'm not sure if that's the case. And I don't know what they did. Now he's a beautiful woman. Now he doesn't want to be a woman now. But do you understand how crazy this all gets? And you got the stupid doctors helping him. Oh, we turned him into a woman. Now they get pissed off because he don't want to be a woman anymore. I mean, you're all nutcases in your own way. What's the matter with her?
I understand all your Jewish words.
Those are not Jewish words, they're English. So these Americans don't understand this. Got to be lighthearted. Well, you see, I do love women, in a way. Little girls, I mean, they need a father, but the father needs a father. Do you see? I have a permanent father within me, and that grants me eternal life. Not that I'm looking for it. I want to do it because it's right. I know about eternal life, but I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because I love my Father. It's simple. So if I get something for it, I don't. Okay, I don't. If I don't get something for it, fine. He's the judge. He's Dad. Wouldn't you like to have a dad that you love, that loves you forever? And you're happy to do things for him? Well, it's loving and being loved. That's the way it should be. That's what it's like in heaven.
Boy, I have to say something.
Okay, hang on just a sec.
You don't have a... You
Yeah, dude.
we have a microphone?
No,
What? No, you need a microphone if you
I
can...
got a loud mouth.
No, it's not loud. No.
I'll hold it for you.
Oh,
I never thought to say she has a loud enough mouth.
there you go. Oh, sorry.
Okay, all right. Calm down.
Oh, I'm just thinking about what you're saying because I've had our sons, we have 4 sons and 1 daughter, and they have come to me and complained to me about him. I said, I'm sorry, you have to go to him. I can't be your conscience. I can't be your mouthpiece. Go to your dad.
That's right.
And I've always done
Well, they
that.
go to you because your tendency
Well, they have
towards
done that a
support the
lot.
view of it.
Yes.
And that's good, but we take care of that, don't worry.
Yeah, I know.
They're
I
not
know.
going to have their
That's
way
all.
with me,
I got no more.
no matter what. They got her will. So when they come to me, I got their will, they want to push me and push me and push me. This old man, they push. And they find themselves getting frustrated in their pushing, and I'm calm. And pretty soon they leave me alone and they feel better. That's how it works. You just don't let them have their own way. I don't want to change them. I'm just not going to have them have their own way. I just hold my ground and they have respect for me. That's how it works. Oh, I see how it works. I'm the victim. Now I'm the victim. So that's how it works. And then pretty soon they adapt me, the good in me that you can't get. See, I will not move from my... It doesn't matter if all hell breaks loose. I will not move to willfulness. Because if I do, I lose my relationship with my Creator. They're willful. The kids are all the willful because you get from the willful there. See, that's it. I'm not willful, but you can't will me. That's all I have to be. All I have to do is stand my ground. That's all. So every day, just stand your ground. Sometimes you have something to say, and sometimes you don't. Whatever.
You just stand.
That's it. It'll be. Well, anybody have any more questions? We have a nice discussion. Thank you for that.
Thank you. I have one other question. I had a dream about a week ago, and I woke up screaming 2 or 3 times on the top of my lungs.
What did you scream about?
I don't know. I just woke up and screamed and screamed. And I thought about it afterwards, and my son-in-law said, that's all the anger and bitterness coming out of you.
That's right. That makes
But
sense.
it happened 3 times in one night. It hasn't happened since.
Well, I was in bed one night. I had a shock, such a big shock, it threw me out of bed. Then I was a different person.
Mm-hmm.
I was a kid when I was young,
Oh,
during the war.
yep.
But something changed. So, I knew what it was. But 35 years later, oh, that's who you are. Oh, that's how you do it. So Moses had it all along, but he didn't know, right? But that's why he was so lovable by the Pharaoh. He loved him better than his own son. But the Jewishness came out when he saw his own kind, which he didn't know, but it was there, and he killed him. And so he should. We're going to do a lot of killing pretty soon. Make sure you bring your guns to church. Everybody has a gun.
something? I was
That way you don't have to live in panic. It's the other guys who are going to be in panic.
They won't know where it's coming from.
They won't know, that's right. Everybody needs to have the Second Amendment. It's the protection of the First Amendment.
It is.
It is not a protection against ISIS, it's a protection against your own fricking government.
It protects everything.
From your own stupid government you stupidly have elected. And you woke up, I see what a stupid thing I've done, I just carry this gun. And you don't really need a permit. Women are not, just keep it up your dress and see if they're gonna check you out.
You overwhelm the system.
Yeah. Make sure all you women get guns.
I was shopping the other day in one of the stores in town. There was a young girl walking around shopping, and I could see the gun sticking out of her pocket.
Why not?
And I said to her, "Is that a real gun?" She says, "Yes, and it's loaded."
That's the idea.
And I said, "Well, aren't you afraid someone might try to pull it out of your pocket?" She says,
The other guy needs to be afraid.
"It's strapped in there." I says, "What's to prevent two big men coming along and ripping it off your pants and taking that gun?"
What did she say?
She says, "I don't think that will happen." And
No,
I just,
maybe so.
yeah, and that's all she
I
said.
could walk around with a gun in my. See? There's one right here for you.
Well, I said you could keep it, but why don't you keep your jacket over it so it won't, I want to have access
If she has a
to it.
license, she has the right.
Yeah.
And when she says, what does she say?
Oh, she says, "I can handle it right away."
I'm quite sure she is. She's aware. She's aware, so don't worry. Aren't you worried? No, I got a gun. Let the guy be worried.
Yeah.
And you keep it away. It doesn't become an event. It becomes an event if you don't have it. It's better to have a gun than not need a gun than not have it and need it.
Mm-hmm.
That's your right. All the countries of the world, the reason why you have all these refugees is because they have no defense. Only a few small people can do what they want with them. They're running like flies.
It's interesting watching them go through Europe. They become the bullies to the local residents
Oh, yes.
because the local residents don't have anything, and they're actually beating these people up.
Oh,
and raping them.
You have a zombie apocalypse
Yeah.
coming across the borders and being angry and desperate for food.
Yep.
And so they become the vanguard of the ISIS.
Yep.
They start to do the same thing out of desperation.
And the governments are just standing there saying, "Oh, we can't do anything."
And you don't listen to that rotten president.
I wouldn't.
Don't you ever listen to that rotten president.
I already saw him from the very beginning, and I saw him as a cold fish. There's nothing in his personality or anything.
No, he's a traitor.
Yes, and that too.
He's a traitor. Nobody will say it.
Yeah, I agree with
Maybe
you.
if I say it, maybe they have the courage to say it too. Because it's in their hearts, but they won't say it. They're gutless lot. He's the same thing. He won't talk. He loves the terrorists. He loves them. He protects them.
He's handing us over to them.
So he doesn't say what they are. So we don't have to. So he can't do anything. But I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
We have to.
He has the right not to say it. I have the right to say it. Also not to say it. But the trouble is, most Americans are politically correct, which means you're mesmerized. Mesmerized. For instance, in the shooting of the 14 people and 21 wounded, the next door neighbor saw something wrong and didn't want to say anything for the fear of being called a racist.
I saw this.
Disgraceful.
It was. Yeah.
So
They saw
why
this.
can't I tell you that the president is a traitor?
No reason why not to. He is what he is.
What's the other word for traitor? When a person knows something and helps the enemy, there's another word for it.
Treason?
Treason. The
That's
president
defined as
is treasonous. He knows something and he lets it happen. He's treasonous. Who agrees? That's it. How many out there agree? Then why aren't you up in arms? In a manner of speaking. Well, support my program. And the IRS will come and get you. No, just kidding. But does it really matter? See? Are you going to let fear? Americans are free. But you're not free if you're drunk, if you're alcoholic, if you're a drug addict, if you're a woman hater, or a woman user, or misuser, or all the things we're talking about. You're not free. You're only free if you have virtue. And you have God on your side. And when God is not on your side, then what chance do you have against the dark side of the force? In its lowest state. In the state that's worse than anything we've ever seen in history. Millions and millions, hundreds of millions are going to die. You too. And only because you elected the wrong president. And you elected the wrong president because you made a wrong decision, like you make wrong decisions in your life. You're looking for something from him. And a free person, a free American, who is a decent free American, as I've described, does not need anything from anybody. He's perfectly, if anything he does something for someone, naturally and helpful. And it becomes businesslike. It becomes a value. The person is grateful. So on and so forth. All he does is demoralize us and does nothing until the whole thing falls apart and the enemy is upon us. And he's got the left seething with anger because they don't have enough stuff. And they don't know that in order to get stuff, you have to work. And of course, they don't know anything about work. They're codependent on the president, who rises like a dope pusher to the dopes. See? And the people on welfare are on dopes, except, there's a few people who do need it. But a small percentage. They're entitled, and it's a dangerous state to be entitled. Because when you don't have it, then you get angry. And you can't turn to the president for it because he hasn't got it, he'll turn on you. He'll make sure he collects the taxes. The prisons will open and the most dangerous people come out. And he will deputize them. He's already starting to do that. Take all the murderers and killers and let them out of prison, deputize them, boots on the ground. It's going to be hell. All right, thank you for coming. Thank you. We had a little fun today.